Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm Marianne Elise and I teach people how to change their life by changing their thoughts. And I like to do that by using psychedelics, getting into my subconscious mind and rewriting my subconscious autopilot. No, so this is actually a really scary story for me to tell. Like, it's actually been really scary. I've had like a huge awakening. I talk about how anything is possible, and then I'm all about like speaking to the angels and speaking to the spirits. But then when the devil came after me, like, all of a sudden it was like, whoa, no, this can't be real, this can't be real. And then come on, they're either both just as believable or ridiculous as each other, angels and demons. If I believe one, then surely that I've got to believe in the other as well. So it was really coming to terms with that, and it's actually a really scary story because he's been after me for a while. He's tricked me. I'll put a link to a video up here of my first experience when I met the devil. That's like a bit of a backstory really. You probably need to know that because he completely tricked me. In that video I'm telling you that you should worship the devil, and I'm now a devil worshipper. He totally tricked me. He's the devil. He's a trickster. He completely tricked me. Like, the devil has tricked me. Like, what I don't think I actually mentioned in that video, but he actually tricked me into having sexual experience with him, and then it's kind of spiraled out of control where he's now possessed my friend. He's DMing me on Instagram, is WhatsApping me from 2 separate numbers. And I know that this sounds crazy, but the devil was after me. But then my next door neighbour's African, and she just like came and saved the day. Anyway, right, so that's a story in a nutshell, but now I'm going to tell you in detail. So basically, you need to watch that other video first. So the devil totally had me tricked. I totally believed that he was good. And now my belief has totally changed. My belief is, yeah, I think he is, my belief is that he's a god, but he's a bad god, if that makes sense. Like, so my neighbour told me that he also gets called Loki, and that really made sense to me because in the Avengers, Loki is Thor's brother. They're both gods, but Loki's a cunt. So that made sense to me. So that now that's kind of how I view him. Like, he's totally tricked me, and I feel like a bit like naive and stuff, but come on, it is the devil. Like, obviously he's super tempting. So basically, yes, I had that experience with him, and then over the weekend, which I'll make it a bit more spooky and a bit more esoteric, at the weekend there was a full moon eclipse, but also from the sun right the way along, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, all of those all along in one straight line. The sun right across in one straight line. That only happens every 5,200 years. So I'm into all that stuff, if you are too. So yeah, so all those things for me, that's not a coincidence. A full moon eclipse also in my sign of Capricorn. All the planets were aligned. It only happens every 5,200 years. And we did LSD, and my friend got possessed by the devil. So it's the first time that there was 3 of us doing it together. It was the first time that all 3 of us had ever done LSD, so we didn't know what to expect. And then obviously we've had this experience, and then when we've told other people, they're like, that's not like LSD, that's nothing like LSD. But I think that, because we took the LSD and we raised our consciousness to such certain heights, we left ourselves open and unprotected to these other entities. And basically there was the 3 of us, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, 2 of us started having like a past life regression. It was so weird. It was like we went back, we were witches, and we were being burned at the stake, and we were seeing this past life that we'd experienced together, and it was like, whoa. And then the other one didn't really know what was going on at all. She was totally confused, and we were like, trying to communicate, but it was just all a bit crazy. We were like, what is happening? Like, what the hell? We've just had the exact same past life regression. What the hell? And then anyway, as the night progressed, we found out it was 1687 in Salem, and we've had so many signs and synchronicities since then. It's absolutely crazy. And I know that it sounds mental, but this is real life. I've actually experienced this. So anyway, so this one particular friend started acting really weird, like just going like being like, just started acting thingy, and she started like giving us funny looks, and it was like she looked evil, and we were both a bit like, whoa, what's happening? And she turned around and said, I can't tell you, because if I tell you, I'll have to kill you. So I was a bit like, whoa. But then my other friend, she said as soon as she heard that, she got instantly scared. She said she was just instantly scared then. And she was thinking like, what if during the night she tells us and then she actually does have to kill us because she's told us? So she just got really, really scared, and she went. And then, so at this point, it's just the two of us, and I'm like, listen, you've got to tell me. And she's like, I can't tell you what's going on because I need to protect you. So I'm just like, what the hell is happening here? What is going on? And I was like, listen, like, don't be afraid. Just talk to me. Like, tell me what you're experiencing, whatever is happening right now. And she kind of just like disappeared, and she was like, this needs to end, this needs to stop. And she thought that at this point, I didn't realize, she really thought that it was the end of the world. Like she was like, we need to get out of here, we need to go. And I was like, what do you mean we need to go? And it was like she was getting this information that we didn't have, and I was like, what do you know that we don't know? She thought it was the end of the world. But then she realized, and then she was like, I'm the devil. And then as soon as she said, I'm the devil, she changed like that, and it was like he took control of her. And then this is when things got really, really, really scary. So she was like, basically like, she was on her knees, and then she was like, she had her hands down, she just had her head down like that, and all her hair was down, and she was just like acting really weird, not saying anything. So I was just sitting there quiet, and I was like, she kept, at this point we were in the kitchen, she kept looking into here, into this room where we'd said like, whoa, where we'd said like, there's a portal here, there's a portal here in this front room, this open space here at the front of my room, there's a portal there. So then I started freaking out, thinking, oh, is that like a portal to like a bad dimension? Is the devil come through that? And she kept looking through here, and I thought she could see something that I couldn't. So then I was trying to say to her, I was like, what can you see through there? Like, is there something through there? And like literally it wasn't even her anymore. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Well, I know that I was on LSD anyway, but like her face had changed, and she literally was the devil. Her eye colour had changed and everything. She was the devil. And I was looking at her, she wasn't saying anything, and she was just like, just really, really creepy. And I was like, is there something through there? And she just kept giving me like this smirk, like as though like she knew something that I didn't know. And I started to get really, really, really scared, but I didn't show. So then I was asking questions like, is there a portal through there? Have you come through a portal? And then I was like, you're the devil, how can I trust you? And then like, and he just kept like giving me this smirk, like as though I said to him at some point, I was like, did you scare Chantel into leaving so that you can get me on my own? And he was just like, and I was like, I'm starting to feel a little bit scared now. Like, I'm in the house alone with the devil. And then this is the first time he spoke to me, and he went, yeah, you should be as well. And then I actually got really, really, really scared. Like, he had full control over my friend at this point. And I was like, oh my God, that was the most, I can't even do the face what he did. It was the most sinister look I've ever seen in my life. Like, I made eye contact with the devil. I told him that I was scared, and he turned around, smirked at me with this sinister look on his face. I can't even do it because I get nervous just thinking about it. Like, it gives me like the nervous giggles. And he like literally looked me in the eye and was like, yeah, you should be, you know, like, oh my God, it like gives me the creeps when I think about it. And so then I can't remember how I got her to snap out of it. And I was like, I basically like, I stood up because we were sitting on, like, she was sitting on the floor in like in my kitchen and I was sitting on the sofa and the window, and then I just like kind of jumped up and I came in here and I was like, right, we've got to do something about this portal. And then she jumped up and followed me and she started snapping out of it a little bit, and I was like, right, I was like, she started believing then that she was the devil, that her soul was the devil and she'd always been the devil. And I was like, no, he's tricking you. He's tricking you. I was like, this is what he does. He tricks you. Like, you really believe him. Like, you do believe him. I was like, he tricked me into having a sexual experience with him. I was like, he's come. Oh. So then, had this mad experience, and she was saying, so this friend she was a little bit spiritual, but she wasn't into any of the like chakra stuff and all like the energy stuff that I'm into. So to her, when she was saying she could feel it pushing out of here, I was saying, well, that's your heart chakra. I was like, there's something if you feel like there's something that needs to be pushed out, I was like, push it out. And she was coming around to it and she was saying, I can't, because like instinctively I know that when I push this out, it'll latch onto you. And I was like, no, it's fine, just do it. And then obviously we were on LSD, so we were looking around, and like, this is my wallpaper, but you could see like lions and tigers in my wallpaper. It was really bizarre. And then over there on the wall as well, like those lights on the wall, the stripes looked like a tiger, and it was like a tiger on the wall. And we kept hearing these roars, and then like something told us, go outside, release it outside, the lions and tigers will take it away. So we went outside, and I was like, just push it out. So she pushed this energy out of her chest, and like the skies lit up in like orange and black, and it was like the tigers and the lions had came to take the devil away, right? So anyway, so we got back inside, and she started feeling better, and it was like, I think it was literally like a generational curse that she's had stuck on her since 1687. This is like a really long story, and there's still more to it. We thought we'd released about this point, but we hadn't. And yeah, so then she started to feel a lot better. She now feels great. She feels like better than ever. Like, she feels amazing. And then the next day I started feeling weird. They had like an afterglow. They both felt really great. I felt really sad for some reason. I didn't know why, like just for no reason. I was really sad, and I'd started watching like Netflix and stuff again. And I don't really watch Netflix. I tend to watch Gaia or YouTube. Like, I don't really watch Netflix, and I'd started watching things on Netflix again, and I was watching things that were making me cry, and I was like, what is this? Like, I obviously need to go through some sort of purge and bring something up. And I could just tell that there was something off. Something didn't feel right. And then on the night, because my friend and I had that like witchy experience where we'd gone back to the past and we'd seen like the three of us burning at the stake. She really was like interested in witches and stuff then, and she was like, oh, it's funny because just a few days ago I was in WH Smith, and she said I was flicking through this book like, oh, what's this? She was like, and I don't even really remember picking it up, how I got it in my hands. Like, I was just flicking through it, and then all of a sudden I realised, wow, I'm going through a witch book. And I was like, what the hell is this? And she said she put it back on the shelf, and she said, and then she's gone back and she's actually bought that book now, which is really drawn to witch, really drawn to like witchy stuff. So yeah, but then some random name, I'll put a screenshot of my Instagram. So I started getting, it was actually the day before, I started getting DMs off a random account talking about like, do I want a free reading? They didn't explain what sort of reading it was. They just asked me if I wanted a free reading, and then I replied back to them, and they'd said, WhatsApp me on this number. So me just being naive, like, oh, okay, they're offering me a free reading, WhatsApped them, and then they started saying to me, trust the ancestor, you need to trust the ancestor. They tell me that I need to make some sort of sacrifice. Then obviously I realised it is the devil, because on the night, my friend who left, the reason she got really scared was because she was getting this intuitive feeling that in order to get rid of the devil, that she had to be sacrificed. So she was having that weird feeling, but little did I know, also my friend who had been possessed by the devil, she was also feeling that to get rid of the devil, she had to be sacrificed, and they were both having this feeling, but I wasn't. So I didn't know until the next day when they both told me, and it was like, whoa, so you were both feeling that you had to be sacrificed. That's bizarre. And I went off on that tangent for a reason. What was I up to in my story? Also, yes, so the person was telling me that I need to make a sacrifice. So I was like, whoa, this is definitely related to the devil, because he's bringing up a sacrifice again. This is like, he's bringing up sacrifice again. Then it was really weird. And I was saying, what sacrifice do you need me to make? And they were being really vague, and they weren't answering. They were like, just make the sacrifice. You need to trust the ancestors and make the sacrifice. So then I realised, like, oh my God, like, bloody the devil's DMing me to get my phone number, get me a WhatsApp him. Now he's got my phone number. So then I blocked him on WhatsApp, and my neighbour came round, and my neighbour is from Zimbabwe, and if I'm remembering correctly, she was the leader of a witch coven when she was in Zimbabwe. And then when she came and she first, I think she's might have lived here for 25 years now. But when she first moved here, she was still into all the witch stuff, and we're very similar, to be fair. Like, she used to do tarot and stuff as well. She also used to be vegan. I'm not vegan, I'm vegetarian. But anyway, so enough of that. So yeah, so then I'm always going off on tangents, aren't I? Just tell the fucking story. So she was then the leader of a witch coven here as well. I think she said it was in Darlington, but in the end she ended up leaving, and she's kind of left all that stuff behind her. So because we knew that she knew about all this stuff, I texted my next door neighbour to see if she could like come and have a talk with us and try and like lead us in some sort of direction. So we didn't know where to begin or what to do. And she came to see me, and I told her about my experience with the devil. To be fair, she is so cool. Like, she's friends with like shamans and stuff, so I can be really open about my drug use with her. So I could just be like, yeah, I did LSD, and like she knows that I brew ayahuasca and I make my own DMT and stuff. So like I extract it from the plant, so she knows already. So I can be quite open with her and just be like, oh, I did DMT and I did LSD, and then the devil possessed my friend. And then she's like, yeah, she started, I get so thirsty when I'm so yeah, so then she's super intuitive, she's just amazing. Everyone needs to meet my neighbour. She's called Michelle. I love her. Anyway, so she started telling me that she's met the devil before, and it's in the woods, funnily enough, just quite nearby. So I'm assuming he's got portals everywhere and he can pop up anywhere he wants. But she's actually met him before, so she'd gone on a walk, and she'd come face to face with him. And what was really funny was, she said he was half man, half goat. And I don't actually mention this in the video, but in the comments people have asked me like, what does he look like? And I said he reminds me of Tumnus from Narnia, Lion, Witch and the Wardrobe. He's got little tiny horns, and he was half man, half goat. So it's funny. So we've both got the exact same description of him. And she went and she told me like there's lots of different, she said he also gets called Pan, he gets called Loki, he's got different names. I said actually people have mentioned this in the comments to me, and people have sent me messages outside of YouTube as well, sending me messages about the devil, some concerned, some like, oh yeah, it's all right. So it was a bit of a mixed bag. But yeah, so she was basically like, the devil will give you anything that you want. She was like, he will give you the world, but with every blessing comes a curse, and with every curse comes a hidden blessing. And she said that basically he's not lying to me when the devil's coming to me and saying to me he'll give me what I want, because he will give me what I want, but the sacrifice will be horrendous. She said like someone from your family will drop dead or something like that. She was like, so it might sound tempting, she was like, but you've got to get him off your back. And then she was really like, tooting my horn and stuff, and saying that basically the devil only comes after, like, she said that she calls them gems, the ones who've like, I would say like raising your consciousness, because obviously I do these drugs to try and raise my consciousness further and like rewrite my subconscious mind, but obviously there's lots of different ways to view it. But she views it as like light, and she was saying like he's only attracted to those ones, and she was saying like he wouldn't waste, she said take it as a compliment, because he wouldn't waste his time going after someone who doesn't have enough light for him to drain. He would only go after, she was saying the advanced soul, so that made me feel good. Yeah, so she then basically went home, came back later and was like, would you like to go for a walk with me in the woods? So I was a bit like, yeah, okay then. And this is where it gets really fucking freaky, like really fucking freaky. So basically there's a place near me here, if you live in the northeast or you're familiar with Teesside, there's a place called Castle Eden Walkway or Wynyard Woodland Park. And she took me to an entrance onto there that I didn't even know existed, which is cool. So she took me to this different entrance that I've never been to before. It's like more over like the Wynyard side, for those who are familiar with the area. And when we got there, it was really weird. So like I'm an energy reader, and I know that not everyone will be able to understand that, but I'm really good at reading energy and frequency and vibration, and I can read the energy. And when we got there, like I could just feel a change, and it just got really weird. It was like one of them, it was really, really scary. So it all of a sudden got really scary again, like the other night when my friend got possessed, and we were walking through this wood, and she was like, this is where he is, this is, he's in here, like if you, she was like, he's attached to you now. And we realised that when my friend had pushed him out the other night, my friend was right. She was instinctively, intuitively, what she knew when she pushed him out, because I was open and I was an open vessel because I didn't have anything attached to me, he did just get onto me. And that's why I felt sad the next day and I didn't realise, and he'd latched onto me and I didn't realise. So she took me out into this wood. She was like, this is where she'd met him before, and it was awful. So we were walking along, and she was like, can you hear that? And she had like a bit of a pissed off look on her face, as though to say like, this devil's a cunt. And she was like, can you hear that? He's whispering. And I was like, no, I can't. And I was like, what's he saying? She wouldn't tell me what he was saying. And she was like, nothing, it's not important. And then all of a sudden I felt him blow on this ear. So when I connect, because I do tarot cards as well, and when I connect, I see, I can't hear, but I feel as well, but it's feel emotionally, but I never normally feel touch. So this is where it got really fucking freaky for me, because then it was blowing on my ear. And obviously because I couldn't hear him, because I don't have that gift, he then started blowing on my ear, and I was like, whoa, because I could feel it. And then we were walking and walking and walking, and the wood gets more and more dense, and it was coming towards nightfall as well. And before we left, her husband had said like, do not go there, don't go there at dark. And I just thought that he was thinking along the lines of like, don't go at dark, because obviously it's dark and there might be people out there, like you don't know what's going to happen, like just trying to be safe. But then she was like, no, don't worry, I'll make sure that I protect myself against him. So I was like, oh, so he's into this stuff as well. I didn't actually realise. I thought it might have just been her. So yeah, so he is aware of the devil, like having that little playground there and stuff. So anyway, we walked right to the end and we got to like a crossroads, and it was like sign that way at Sunderland, sign that way at Stockton. And then we just basically got there, we turned back because it was starting to get dark, like the sun was about to go down. We did not want to still be in that bit of wood when the sun went down. So we started walking back, and as we started walking back, he started attacking me. So I could feel my arm going like that, and it was like I had no control, like my arm was going like that, and he was like trying to pull me off the path, like into the wood. And she was like, you've got power over him. She was like, command him, tell him to leave you alone. And I was like, stop it, like get off me. And she was like, no, you've got to command him. She was like, but I didn't want to like scream out loud and shout at him, so like I kind of just did it in my head, and he was leaving me, but then he was coming back, and each time he was coming back, he was like buckling my knees, and I was like falling. My vision went blurry. There was this buzzing and vibrating like going through my ears, in between my ears, like and I couldn't walk, and I was like, we need to get out of here, we need to get out of here. And we started quite a walk to go, and then when we got back into the car, it felt like so ominous. We'd got back to the car, and then like in front of us was like the woods, like kind of around us, all around us. And when we looked around, it was just so ominous. It was though there was so many things in there watching us. And she was like, yeah, there's more than him. She was like, there's many things in there. And then she was like, you don't even know what I did, do you? And and then as we were, sorry, but before we got into the cars, we were walking out, I heard him. So I don't know whether I've suddenly got this gift or he's just so powerful he made me hear it. I heard him shout, Marie! And he proper like screamed me, and it was like so scary. And then we got in the car, and that's when we could see everything looking at us. And as we drove off, she said, you don't even realise what I've done back there, do you? And I was like, no. And she was like, I've chained him down, I've anchored him. She was like, he's going to be pissed off, he can't get that off. So just be careful to anyone who is walking through Wynyard Woodland Park or Castle Eden Walkway. There's a part of it where there's a proper section where there's like loads of different demons. And what she told me is, she said he wasn't the actual devil. She said he's not the actual devil. She said, but he is. She said he is a demon. She said, but he's like a leader demon. And she said they've got devil in the name. It's called a something devil. She said, but he's not the devil. She said, but they still are like quite powerful and quite horrendous to have attached to you. So that's my crazy story. Oh, and then when I got home, that person I'd blocked them I'd blocked their phone number on WhatsApp. Then they started texting me from another number saying, I've got to make the sacrifice. I'll put some screenshots in. And then I went onto my Instagram, and I forgot that that's where I'd initially started talking to them. I had loads of messages saying, I see that you've deleted me, like make the sacrifice, and all this stuff. So yeah, hope you enjoyed my story.